Texts, phone calls, conversations with friends. We communicate all the time. It is important. But how does communication in business look? Welcome to Trev Explains, where today we're going to dive into why communication is important, what it means to communicate as a business, and how you might improve your communication. So, what if I were to tell you that communication can build relationships, enable collaboration, provide direction, resolve conflict, and build credibility? Let's find out how that's done. Well, okay, communication, yes, I know that is important. We talk to our partners, to our boss, to our colleagues, to our friends, family, cats, dogs, house, mice. Not to your house, I guess, but, well, it is obvious that communication plays a significant role in your life and also in your business. Well, you communicate to your publics, meaning to your stakeholders if you're a big company, or just to your clients or the general public that will write articles about you or that just has an opinion on what you do as a company in the public. But moreover, you will also have to face the communication issue or the task of communicating correctly with your employees, your managers, maybe your manufacturers, producers, your shipment companies, and so on and so forth. So it gets really complex if you want to build a communication network that can work for you. That is why I'm doing this video, and that is why I'm talking about why communication is such a big role. So we're communicating all the time, so we should be really pro in that. Well, here is where it gets difficult. Just think of how many times you've tried to tell something to a friend or to send an email to a coworker, and that person didn't even really understand what you were saying. Well, let's multiply that by 1,000, and this is the problem you have in business. There's just too many messages out there. We have social media, now we even have artificial intelligence that is mixing up the whole scene, and we have just busy, stressed, and unfocused people all around. If you want to succeed in business, then you have to figure out a way to break this pattern and to kind of like break through the mist. Let's talk about how we can do that. Okay, so first I'd like you to think about, how do you communicate? How do I communicate? It can be verbal, it could be written, it can also be non-verbal communication like my gesturing right here, or it could be something like visual communication, graphs, photos, videos. Now, if you have that in mind, you can already adjust the type of communication you choose when trying to bring across a message. Let me just give you an example. Say you have the quarterly results of one of your branches and you want to communicate them to your team. Well, if I were you, I'd choose something visual where I can line up the numbers and everyone can just have a look and then see for themselves where you can still improve and what went really well. Doing the same thing via a phone call, for example, would get really difficult for the other person. And this is the second thing. Always try to adjust to the person that is sitting across the table, so to say, or the person you're talking to. If that person isn't receptive to your techie animation or your great video, but would just rather have a short email describing your points, then maybe that's the thing you should go with. It is nice to have your own goal of communication in mind, but it's really important to figure out, okay, how can I reach that person or that group of people, might be when you're talking to customers or a type of manager, a type of politician, how can I reach this person in particular? If you have those things in mind, then you're already set for the next stages. Okay, so you've considered the form and the type of communication, and hopefully have adjusted this to the person you're talking to. What else? How about you make the message short and concise? We all know people don't have a long attention span, especially since TikTok came up. You scroll and scroll and scroll, watch for 5 seconds, for 3 seconds, for 10, but never really much longer. So if your message gets clear in the first 2 lines of your text, in the first minute of your video, you will win people to actually start listening to you longer because they see what is relevant for me here and how does this piece of information, that video, text, whatsoever, is actually going to help me. So make it short and then start giving the details and all the other information later in your piece of content. Okay, I'm gonna be mean to you now. What if I tell you that everything we've just discussed can be meaningless at times? Alright, you need to adjust things to your target group, you need to make a message short and concise, but that is only if that is your purpose. And that is what you need. You need a purpose, a goal in mind of why you are communicating to a specific group of people. If it is to inform your employees, if it is to tell your target group, your customers, that there is something on sale, yeah, then please make it short, make it concise, and tell them exactly what is going on so they can understand. But what if you don't want to do that? What if you just want to tease someone, or you want to steer a conversation in a totally different direction and need to take a really, really strong standpoint? Then that's what you're going to do. Sometimes not communicating at all is the right communication that you have to choose. So it is really all about how can I adjust my communication to my purpose. Keep that in mind and then go about crafting your message and putting it into a certain style. Only with a purpose and with a clear goal in mind will your communication succeed. And that is with your employees, with your publics, with your business partners, everywhere. Yeah, so communication seems to be quite important and can be quite tricky, especially in business. I know we've just covered the basics in this video, and there's much more we could dive into. How can you build your own communication campaign? Or how can you better communicate with your employees? Well, let us cover this in another video. Please post your questions and your remarks down in the comments so we can tackle them very, very soon. If you would like a compiled version of this video, there's a blog article down below. We thank you for listening today. Hope to catch you very soon and wish you a wonderful day.